look through it, and there's all these different things. And I wonder if I turn off my light if it'll help. No. Oh.
Hi, Hannah.
Yeah.
You can't pull it up on your computer and screen share it, can you?
No.
Okay.
I don't have the app on, or it doesn't go on my phone. Wow, that's horrible lighting. Anyways, so basically I'll just do the basic thing. So basically like this part right here has my index and it's got all my different things on here. It's got year at a glance, goals, vision board, year prep, reflections, memory keeper. Then it has places where I can put my own templates on. And then on the side, it's got things like brain dump, fitness, finances, budgeting, meal planning, groceries. Literally your entire life can be put in this thing. And I got this one through Etsy. I'd have to look up the name of it, and I can in a few minutes. But it's like 30 bucks, and it comes undated or dated, so you can reuse it year after year. So, and just shift everything, which is what I'm doing right now. And then you can do my templates. I have some templates set up in here for pre-orders, pre-sales, orders to place, customer mail. And then I have my trackers in here. I've got like my love brag tag trackers. I'll do some screenshots and post these in a few minutes to the director's page. How about that? That'll work. I've got paid at title trackers. I've got my annual sales. All of my trackers are in here. It took a little bit of time to get it all set up and have it where I wanted it, but it works great for me. And then if you click on like the months, you can actually see the whole month. If I have the angle perfect, it works, and then mess it up. You do the whole month, and these are all linked on like the days. So I can click like April 12th, and it will pull up whatever I had on my template. And in my template, I also have included my things for my PRV. The next part, I have my to-do lists with my Mondays, the next days, it's Tuesday. I'm not gonna do a screenshot. I'll do like a video real quick and post it on the director's page, but it's really, really cool. And then since you have it and it can save onto your cloud, I can take my phone and be anywhere and pull up the same exact planner, and it will all be there on my phone. And I can edit it from here. I can know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. If somebody tells me of an order that when I'm out and about, I don't have to carry my Happy Planner with me, my huge old thing. I don't have to worry about my notes page. Hush, you can come in, the door's open. My dogs, they're crazy. But yeah, you can like open all this different stuff, and it's just really cool. And it's literally like Happy Planner, and then you have all your trackers in here. You can put your own trackers in. You have everything, and it's at the tip of your fingers, and you don't have to worry about carrying this big old luggy thing around with you. So it's really, really cool. I have to go digital a lot more because like I said, I need this with me because with 2 kids and their schedules, I don't remember crap. So I remember nothing. It literally has to be with me. If somebody might tell me when I'm out and about that they want to order something, give me 5 minutes, I'm not going to remember. So the fact that it's all here and I can put it in my calendar via my phone and it will sync back over and it'll officially be in my planner. Like I have my planner area, I'm still trying to get used to it. So I hit the wrong buttons all the time. So that's always fun. In my planner area, like I have the pre-orders section and I have it, and I've already got the people that have for sure said they want like the succulent warmers, and I have it set up in there. Again, I'll post these online. I wish I could do the screen sharing on my computer, but GoodNotes is not on my computer because I don't have an Apple. So I have a regular computer, but it will link through those. And then, like I said, if you do like the Android or whatever, I don't know how any of those work, but you can link them. This color lighting is driving me nuts. Can't handle it. But you can link them all, and it will all link back and forth between your phone, your tablet, your computer, if you have it on your computer. And it's just fantastic. Jessica, I got one too earlier, and it's driving me nuts being on this call and not being on and messing with the app.
Now I got what? I didn't know we got an email, so now I'm like, oh, I should check my email.
We got confirmation email.
Oh, it's the good one. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, so it's cool though. Like I'll do some screenshots right now and go ahead and post them over there so you guys kind of have an idea of what I'm talking about. But I'm not going to do like all of it.
So you
Obviously.
have your annual, you said you have your annual sales and annual mentor tracker in there. Do you have, you've got your orders that you need to enter?
I have absolutely everything in here. Like I can take my personal life with me everywhere. I can meal plan, which I don't do, but I could do that in here and it will be with me no matter where I am. And it's just something that I feel like I kind of need because my brain, it doesn't last long. I mean, I had 2 kids, so my brain is half gone because they ate it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's how I feel about it. But yeah, like I have all of my different trackers in here. Now they're not all filled out right now because I'm still working on it. But I made some of my own trackers to pop in. I'm post some of them right now.
Yeah, I got to where, like I said, I love paper and pen, but when you start to feel like it's stressing you out and you don't have enough time to keep up with it, or like she said, you need it when you're on the go. Like I've never been one to carry my planner with me anywhere or carry anything with me anywhere because I'm not going to remember to in the first place, but I also don't want to carry it. So that's why I ended up going completely digital too. And it has been like the best thing ever. And I'm sitting at my desk working anyway every day. So I have it right there on my computer pulled up. And then if I'm on my laptop, it's also there. If I'm on my phone, it's also there. If I had an iPad, it would also be there. So that's the thing too with like, with that, you can use it on your phone, your iPhone and your iPad, but you have to have a Mac or a MacBook to use it on your computer, right?
For this app that I have, there's some other apps that you can use with it, but this is just the one that I read about that had great reviews. And I'm sure if I had a Mac, I probably could because I'm pretty sure most apps tend to transfer over.
Yeah.
But I don't have a Mac. So, but yeah, they will go everywhere. And then it's nice because even if I'm working on my laptop, I don't really mind it too much because I'll just have my iPad or my phone by me. And then I have my tracker there. I can highlight, I can do like normal pen, I can do whatever I want. You can even use stickers. I haven't gotten that far, but I really want to get some because they're cool. And they're gonna make it pretty. But I posted some of those screenshots to kind of just give you an idea. I just took a couple. But like the templates, like this gal is really good. Like she has everything. And then I created some of the templates myself on there. They're super simple, but everything, but it literally is so you can have it with you. And then the part where it's like the monthly, each one of those, she has those days hyperlinked. So if you were to click on the 16th, it will shoot me over to whatever I have on the 16th. I adjusted some of my templates because I don't really need a specific day particularly, but I do like where I can do like on there, you can see where I adjusted some of them to to-dos and then Monday's team day or whatever. Am I going to go completely by that? I don't know. I might end up changing it up later, but that's the beauty of it is I can change it on this too. And so it's not like something totally set in stone and I can shift things around as I need to. But it'll automatically, like if I were to click Monday, the 12th or whatever, was it the 12th? Yeah, I have my glasses, sorry. Monday the 12th, it will shoot me over to that Monday section that I have set up. And then I did like the paid up title trackers. Again, as you see, they're not fully set up, but I tossed in the annual sales and annual mentor. They're empty because I'm using them for next month. But it's really cool because you can learn, like, you can pull pretty much any of the trackers you have on your drive. If you were to pull those up, you can save them and then just pop them into the this planner, and it can automatically be with you. And then with the day-to-days, as I put a part where you can keep track of your numbers, because I've been really, really bad at that. And so I'm trying to get better at that again. So if it's staring me in the face every time I open this planner, then I should be doing much better at it. But yeah, so it's really cool. I think it's going to work a lot better for me, just because I need that with me like all the time. Otherwise, I'm not going to remember anything.
Yeah, and getting systems in place now is so important because, like this season, I mean, because when we get to fall and things get insane, you don't want to be trying to get systems in place then. You want to be prepared and ready to go when that new fall catalog comes and the biggest time of year happens, and you got all the things, getting all the new team members, all the promotions, all the PRV, all the parties, you don't want to be caught already behind because you don't have those foundations set for your business. So
I did that once and it was a horrible, horrible idea.
I think we've all learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I knew I needed to restart on this one, and I had to figure something out, because the older my kids get, the more on the go they are, and the more my planner gets left at home. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta figure something out. And this seems to be a really good one. So anybody who's on the go a lot, something like this might really help. So
yeah.
And then the fact that we can still make it, because I thought it was literally just going to be where like it was digital and I couldn't alter anything. So, well, I can't do that because we have a different business. So we need all these different things to personalize. So when I found out that you could personalize them and I can literally add everything in there, so I was like, okay, well, that's perfect because it can be with me at all times, because it will just sync right over as long as I have enough cloud space, which I didn't at first, but apparently I use a lot of the cloud. But it's a great one. And I looked at a lot of different planners and a lot of different people. A lot of different people on, on Etsy. And I couldn't, or some of them were just blah, whatever. I ended up going with this one. It was one of the little higher priced ones, but I think it's going to be totally worth it. And this gal seems just to kind of have a knack at knowing how things need to process and run and how a good planner will work. So, oops.
Awesome.
That's the name of the gal I used for Etsy.
Okay, so she just put the link in the chat box. Does anybody have any questions for her or about the whole thing? Digital planner, coolest thing like ever. Seriously, especially if you have a MacBook Pro, not a MacBook Pro, an iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil. That would be like the coolest thing ever to be able to just write in.
I use the pencil actually. I just got a cheap pencil off Amazon. It's like a $30 pencil. And it works really well. So it does take a little bit getting used to. And I'm like, okay, some of my letters will drag a little longer, but I write a lot. And then if I feel like I can do the typing, I will, but I do need to write it down too, because as I'm writing it down, like Whitney, I feel like I need to write it down too, because it helps me remember, but for some reason it works even writing it down digitally for me. I don't know why. It might not work for other people, but it seems to work for me because I'm at least writing it down and it's going into my brain, and then I have something with me at all times without carrying around a huge, thick, planner. where all my pages are randomly falling out.
I just have like, I have to have everything ready to go at the beginning of the month. Like my whole month of tasks that I have to do, I have in a master list because I just have to be able to go through there and pull from that and put things on days, because otherwise I'm just like, I don't know what I need to be doing. Like I can't remember all this stuff. So I have all that just ready. And then at the beginning of each week, I can pull from that, put them on what days they need to go on, and boom, I'm done. But yeah, I mean, some of you may still be where you can maintain writing things down. And two, like when I was transitioning over to digital, I still had certain things I would write down, like track writing down versus on the computer. And it took me kind of shifting my mind a little bit to get used to that, to transition into it. The only thing I still use paper for, I mean, obviously I have my happy planner still, and then I have my hourly layout for that, and I have like all of my personal to-dos and my business to-dos on that, so it has everything for the day. But and I showed that this morning on the leadership call. But I use my happy planner for that, and then just to have like an overview of my calendar of everything I have that month, like between personal and business stuff. But I also track my numbers on paper. I don't know why I can't get away from that. Like I just like to write that down for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I'll eventually switch over to digital for that too. But yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. Everything else it's digital now, because it was just starting to stress me out. Like there was way too many papers to try to flip through with all these trackers, and it was just like way too much.
That was one thing I noticed on this tracker, was she had extra templates for the hourly, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's like Morgan. It just like screamed to you. I was like, it's hourly.
See, I'm that person that will write a to-do list that is like 3 times the amount of stuff I can actually get done that day, because I like to just get all the things done. That's just who I am. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and this and this and this and this and this and this today. And I get to the end of the day and I have like 5 tasks that I couldn't finish. And so then I had to push them over to the next day. And then I constantly feel behind because I cannot just say, oh, look at all these things I did do today. No, I'm going to focus on things I didn't do. So having the hourly, I can actually plan out how long it's going to take to do follow-ups, or how long it's going to take to do this. And that way I can block out exactly the amount of time I need. And I like to like having a deadline sometimes, because I can like race against the clock, I guess. Like I know I have an hour, I got to get this done. And it's like, I don't know, I like to do that. But what did Alicia say? Recently started trying the digital planners on my phone and can't seem to find one that feels to be. I feel like it would be easier to use on an iPad or a computer versus your phone, with it being so little. Is it hard to use on your phone?
It is a lot easier from your iPad, but it's nice to have that I still have access to it if I really wanted to from my phone, and I'm not carrying around anything huge. And if I need to jot something down, I can. When I'm truly using it and writing in it, I prefer it through the iPad, just because the writing and stuff. But I like that I can have access through it through both my systems. And then yeah, I had another train of thought and it just went like that.
That's the perfect example though. Like Alicia, she said that she would carry a planner around and never write anything in it. Like that is the perfect example. You definitely need to be trying something different. That's the thing. Like we need to try something for a period of time to see if it works for us, and teach our team to do the same thing. But if it's not working for you, you got to change it, because it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And then, like I said, fall's going to come, and then you're going to be like triple behind and unprepared, and it's going to just be so stressful. And you don't want things to be stressful, because when this becomes more like a job, like it is for all of us, and you're working differently and you're relying on that income more, it can get easily stressful and you start to lose the joy that you once had in your business if you're not setting those foundations that you need. And if you're stressed out every day, when you're working your business, you're not going to find joy in that. So definitely have to stay on top of the organization and all of that stuff, because it's only going to get crazier and crazier.
And some systems can totally work for you and then just stop working. That's exactly what happened to me. I was using the Happy Planner, it was doing great, and then life just changed, and I've been on the run a lot more, and my kids are going, and we're coming into summer, which is when I go way more mobile. I can't carry that planner with me, so I had to figure out something that would work with the new style, like new lifestyle, and this seems to be working, and it seems to work well, and I can, take it out and sit by the side of the pool and not have to worry about it. And I do that. Like I had my phone out with me the other day looking at my planner, and I was floating in the pool. But it's just what works for you. So, and carrying paper where I can get it soaked, or my kids might drop whatever they're drinking that time or whatever, or throw it out the window. I don't know.
Or decide to turn your planner into a coloring sheet.
Exactly. Like that does not work for me anymore. I can't do it. So I had to figure out something new. And that's when I really started searching and found this one. And it definitely seems like it'll work. I've only been doing it for about a week or two, but I think it's going to help so much more. And it's already seeming to help. I'm actually staying on track a little bit more, which is what I needed, because I just kind of I took a sabbatical from Scentsy or something for a little bit. But
you want to talk about that? You can.
My sabbatical. Oh, I'm still trying to bounce back. Last year was rough, and between everything, and then we had a lot of pretty bad family stuff happen. Not my immediate family, but just some family stuff, and I just got burned out. And I just basically checked out, and it was bad. My anxiety was up, my depression was up, everything. And I just kind of checked out. And unfortunately, you can see the effects of that. But I had to get my head straight first before I could come back. And I'm 6 years in, and it happened. So it can happen at any time. But it happened, and finally, this last month, I decided, well, enough is enough. I was struggling getting my PRV up for months. This month, I'm struggling again, but I think that's not for lack of trying. I've been trying my hardest this month. It's just luck of the draw this month. Unfortunately, it's just how it falls.
Well, and two, usually the things you're seeing in your business right now are the effects of what you were doing 60 days ago. So,
yeah. But you could see last month where I said enough was enough, and you could see the change. My team was thriving again. My numbers were thriving. Jessica, our numbers as a team are pretty rough. Our group as a group are pretty rough. I don't know what it is with this month for our team. Everybody else seems to be thriving pretty well, but our team's paddling upriver right now, but we'll bounce back. We always will. And we all had really good months last month, and sometimes you get a rough month after that, and it's just how it is. But I know we'll bounce back, especially with you as a leader, Jessica, and Rachel as a leader. We'll bounce back. But it took me a while, and finally I've known what I needed to change for a while. I wasn't oblivious to it. I was very well aware. I just didn't want to, so I didn't. But finally last month, it's I can't do this anymore. I have to bounce back. I didn't want to lose my business, and that's where I was heading. And so you could see the change. You can just totally see the change. And it was some of my enthusiasm starting to trickle down, and you could just see it. Even this month, our numbers are rough, but the enthusiasm I'm watching, it's good. It's still really, really good. So I'm okay, well, our numbers might suck, our paychecks might not be as great, but everybody is excited and happy to be doing this again. And everybody seems to be bouncing back. And I know it all kind of threads up to your leaders. And I drug my feet, but when I started seeing it happen to the people down below me, where it was affecting more than just me, I was nope, can't do this anymore. And so like I said, I've been trying to bounce back. My numbers might not be great. They'll come. I'm trying new things, trying a new digital planner. I'm doing scratch off tickets for my mail. Project Broadcast started blocking my texts, so I went back to Amy. So it's just been a whole bunch of changes and everything like that, but we've all been definitely trying to roll with it. Like I'm trying to get better with certain things. I haven't been doing very good with the team meetings again, but schedules have been so crazy. By the time nighttime comes, I'm like, I just want to go to bed. So it's like, and that's my bed has been winning out, but at the same time, we all need sleep, otherwise we're not going to survive. So, but
This is why I stopped Zooming at night. Other than this quarterly win, I was fine with doing that, but this is why I stopped doing Facebook Live parties. This is why I stopped doing team calls at night. This is why I stopped doing leadership calls at night, because it was stealing my joy. Like it really was. Like, first of all, it's outside of my boundaries because it's outside of my business hours, but it was stealing my joy because number one, I was exhausted by the time I got on here. I'm sure everybody else is too. Mentally exhausted. I mean, like, it's like my brain is just, I can't. Like, I would get on here a lot of nights and be like, I don't even know, like, I just feel like blank because I was just drained. And on top of that, my kid would never go to bed on time, and he's not even here right now. That's the only reason that I'm not struggling with him right now. But he wouldn't go to bed on time. My husband would be struggling with him because he wouldn't want to go to bed for him. Of course, he wants to be in here with mom while I'm working and all this stuff. And I'm like, that was one of those things that I had to cut out because it was stealing the joy from my business. And I was like, I can't get to where I don't enjoy my job. Like, this is literally my dream job, the best job ever, and I love it. So you have to be willing to make those changes when you can tell that something is just like not it anymore. I mean, it's crazy how much probably all of our businesses have changed since we were, new consultants. Like, you just evolve and you make changes and you go from different systems to different systems until you find what works. And like, people are always like, how are you so organized and how do you have everything so perfect? And I'm like, a lot of trial and error and a lot of years of changing things. And I'm 6.5 years, almost 7 years in, and I think I finally got it all. Like, finally. Took me 7 years, but I think I've got it.
And you have to always be willing to change those too. Like, people who are so set in their ways too, that's not going to work, because sometimes you're going to have to change it up, and something might be working for you for quite a while and then suddenly it just stops. You're like, well, okay, back to the drawing board to find something new that will work. And like, that's kind of what I did with like customer mailings and stuff. I was doing something, it was working for a while. It was the 3-month smell mail or whatever. And suddenly it just stopped working. And I was like, okay, well, I'm kind of wasting my money. And so you have to start and try something totally different again until you find the new, and always try to stick with it for a certain amount of time, because it might, you're not going to know if it works unless you stick with it for so many months or so much time. And then a lot of it is an investment sometimes. Like, I cringe spending money on something new that I don't know if it's going to work. I'm like, oh, it's an investment, and if it works, then it's worth it for me. What are you doing, dog?
Does anybody want to unmute and share anything that's been working for you, or your team, or ask any questions? Tell us anything you're struggling with that we can help with. Anybody's welcome to talk, like, answer and ask questions. Like, it's fine for anybody. I know me and Hannah have been doing all the talking, but anybody's welcome to come on. There was something that I had on my mind when you were talking, and I should have wrote it down because now I can't remember. That is how quickly I forget things. It's so sad.
Yeah, I got something.
Jessica, okay.
So I had 2 new recruits last month, and both of them were my catch-all parties. So I, changed my catch-all parties over to have them join for free. And the one girl and I actually have a long history. She's my pampered chef lady. And I used to be her Usborne lady. So I finally was like, she was finally like, okay, I'll join. And then she did like nothing. I couldn't get her to even like get a link going. My other new girl was really excited. I've known her for a couple years online, and she did a launch party, didn't really follow any directions or suggestions that I gave her. And then she asked me if I would post a little bit, and I did. And then I told her, I'm like, sometimes it's just a better idea to just go to, booking parties. Like if your launch party's not kicking off, just try to start booking parties and keep that launch party as your VIP. Well, now nothing from her either. So I'm not used to this. All of my other recruits like are dang rock stars. And I mean, I just literally lead them in the right direction, be like, okay, do this. And they're like, okay. And then they're off and they're going. So I'm not used to having two girls in a row that, I don't know, like didn't care. And I'm not going to lie, it frustrates me a little bit because those are my catch-all parties. So I'm a little frustrated right now and I don't know what to do to help them.
Yeah, Whitney said she's got the same problem right now. I mean, it's common. If that makes you feel better, it's gonna happen a lot. Like you're gonna get way more people, sadly, that don't want to do anything, that don't, like it. Your job really is to just find the 1%. Like find the people who do want this, who do want to, want to put in the work, basically, because so many people don't, and they want something way quicker than you can get it in this business, and things like that. So, but
well, that's how my second girl is. She thought that she could just like post a few things and it was just gonna like fly.
Yeah.
So I did do a little like
people are gonna flock to them, and it doesn't work like that.
Yeah. So I did a little like motivational like speech in my team and was just like, hey, look, like you're going to get out of this business what you put into this business, and you have all the resources literally at your fingertips. Your workstation is key. Not to mention, I've got a pretty kick-ass team. We're all very supportive. We're all friendly with each other. We're all, just really sweet, awesome girls. And I just tried to explain to them like, and then I gave them tips like you have to be motivated, you have to be organized, which I'm struggle with, but I'm trying. You have to be willing to try new things. You have to be willing to put yourself out there. So I'm trying to just like give them a guideline of these are attributes that you have to have if you want to be successful with your business,
Yeah, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep training everybody the same. I have 100 and I don't even know how many frontline at this point. 170 something, I think, like 176. And I mean, a small portion of them, are actually producing and doing amazing, but you just have to find those people. And you've been very lucky to have so many already. And so it's kind of been like opposite for you, I guess, because you're like, oh, I have all these rock stars. And then it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's disappointing. I'm like, what did I do wrong?
So you definitely didn't do anything wrong. It's them. So as long as you're training everybody the same, you're giving everybody the same resources, then it's up to them. Like they either take the tools and run with it or they don't. And most of them aren't going to. And it's not your job to try to drag them, because that's just going to drain everything out of you. You need to be focused on the people who are doing well. You need to be working one-on-one with those people, helping them, make an action plan to figure out where they're going and what they're going to do to get there. Work closely with them, have a close relationship with them, and never, ever, ever, ever focus on the negative things. Never focus on the people who are sitting at zero. Never focus on the people who aren't doing anything. Focus on the people who are, and work closely with them. And that's going to be, that's how you're going to build your next leaders and directors. Because
I think about the fact too that like when I first started, really, and I've told people the story, Rachel like drove me crazy. Like, you'd be so good at this, and I'm like, Rachel, leave me alone. And I kept buying off of her, and I was very supportive. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to join. So I buy the $15 kit, and I was like, look, don't have any expectations. I'm not doing a launch party. Don't expect anything out of me. I'll do what I want when I want to. And she was very gracious and let me just do my thing and did not push me, did not do anything but encourage me.
Yeah.
And then a year in was my moment where I was like, okay, you know, my dad died. I'd been taking care of him for 6 years. And I'm like, I have to focus on something. And Scentsy going to be my focus. And it just blew up for me. It was fantastic. You guys had all this training. It was the fall. Like, it was the best time to blow up. And then I think about that. I'm like, well, I don't want to give up on some of these girls. Just look at me. I went a whole year where, you know, I was lucky if I got 300 in sales a month.
Yeah. You don't give up on them, but you just do like Rachel did, meet them where they're at. You know, if they get ready, they will be ready, but it's just your job to provide the same resources to them, do the same things, but meet them where they're at. If they're clearly a hobbyist, don't be like hounding them, you know, on like, I'm not saying that you would, but I'm just saying to anybody watching this, if they're a hobbyist, don't treat them like they are a leader and they need to be doing 2,000 PRV and what are your goals, because a lot of people don't even have goals. And they don't want to be reached out to ask what their goals are, because they're going to feel like their goals aren't good enough, and then they're just not even going to tell you their goals, or, you know, things like that. So
or they were like me and didn't have any goals. I really didn't have any goals. My goal was to sell some Scentsy and get some, you know, pocket money. That was my original goal.
Yeah. So love those people just the same and meet them where they're at, and, you know, give them their space and their time. And if they come around, they come around. If not, they don't. And I've just never been that person that looks at, I don't dwell on the negative things happening. Like, I just look at the positive things and what people are doing and what people are working, and I work with those people, and that's how I've built what I've built.
Well, I want to share one more thing too before I stop talking. I started using an app, InShot, and it was suggested by one of the training groups that I'm in. I'm in numerous ones, so I'm not sure which one, but I got to say it was a game changer for me. It's so much fun. You can do videos with it and talk over it, and InShot is really awesome. I've been doing a lot of my parties with it now, and it's easier for me to show like all the warm.
Uh-oh.
Really a neat app.
Hold on. Okay, I can hear you again. You cut out.
My phone rang.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was my end since my connection's been all crazy. So you said it's called InShot?
InShot. Yep, all one word. And it is a really fun, cool app.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions or anything you want to chat about, share? What worked for you last month? What didn't work for you last month? If any of you are feeling like super overwhelmed, just start with the foundations and get things organized first. Get systems in place for everything that you can use that don't stress you out, things that make you happy, things that work, things that aren't taking more time than, you know, like you need it to be efficient. Don't do digital if you hate digital and it stresses you out right now. If paper is working for you, stick with paper if paper is working for you. Don't feel like you have to do everything else that everybody else is doing. It's different for everybody. And I used paper for 6 years, and not necessarily that it worked like from year 5 to 6, but I still did. And I wish I would have had, honestly, that digital planner during the whole, like when COVID first started, that whole first like 7 or 8 months when Carson was home and not at school, because life was just insanity. Like, I couldn't even get team mail out. And that's the thing, like, that is normal. I was talking to Bonnie and Crystal about this the other day. It's normal. Like, if you get behind on something, or you don't stress about it. If you're behind on team mail 2 months, just send out an email recognition for the last 2 months. Like, it doesn't matter. As long as they are getting their recognition and feeling valued and loved, they don't care what form that comes in. If you can't send mail, I mean, y'all, I was so stressed out that I could not send out mail. It was like a month or two. Probably, I think it was like in the summer. And I was talking to another superstar director who I consider one of my mentors, and she was like, you're seriously stressing yourself out over that. She was like, it's not even a big deal. Send your team an email. They will give you grace. Like, we love our teams. They love us just as much. They're not going to be like, oh, well, she didn't send me mail. And if they are, then who cares? You can't please everybody. And then also, like, there's things that you should be delegating at this point in your business. You know, there's only so much time in a day for us, and we are not certified consultants anymore that are only focused on sales. Like, we are directors and above, and we are focused on recruiting and building leaders. Building leaders is the most important thing alongside recruiting in your business right now. Like, from here on out, that has to be your main focuses. So you've got to have something in place, first of all, to where you know where your PRV is coming from. Because if you don't know where your PRV is coming from the rest of this month, like when you go into the month, if you don't know where your PRV is going to come from that month, how are you going to recruit anybody? How are you going to, you've got to have the people to recruit. And if you ever stop recruiting or you ever stop building leaders, your business is going to just go stagnant and you're just going to be stuck. And then what's going to happen is your paychecks are going to start to go, and it's going to be like all that time that you worked so hard to build that wasted. And then you're going to have to start over basically. So you don't ever want that to happen. So you got to know where your PRV is coming from at the beginning of the month. For me, I know going into the beginning of the month that I have at least about 1,000 PRV coming from PRV. It's bedtime. From Cincy Club. And then I know that I need to get the rest from however I'm going to get it. So, and if you ever get to where you will get to, but when you get to where you're not doing parties anymore or not doing them the same, like you can still do parties in certain ways, but I've completely changed the way I do things. You got to still make sure that you're networking and you have people to recruit, because if not, that potential recruit list is just going to disappear because you're not going to have anybody to recruit if you only have Cincy Club customers ordering every month, if you're not actually getting out and networking. So don't lose sight of that foundation of your business, which is PRV. That is the foundation of it. And it's so easy to lose sight of that when you become a leader, because you're so focused on your team. You're so focused on recruiting and building leaders and trying to get new directors and, helping your team reach their goals, and you're coaching and you're doing calls with people and all these things. And there's not enough time in the day. Like, I don't make my samples anymore. I don't even send out my mail anymore. That's where I'm at this point. Like, you can start somewhere. You can start delegating things like labeling and making samples and whatever. Like, get one of your best customers to make your samples for you and pay them in host rewards that you get, so they get free Cincy, or get your kids to do the stuff for you. Like, I don't know, but you can delegate things and you don't have to pay somebody a salary necessarily to do that, but you can get to that point eventually. But if you are overwhelmed and feel like there's way too many things and not enough of you to go around, you've got to figure out what you can cut out, what may be fluff, what may not be completely necessary, or what can be delegated, so that you can focus on the most important things. Because the most important things are PRV, recruiting, having those sponsoring conversations, and coaching and training. So those are the things only you can do. You can't delegate those things. Those are the foundation of your business. I say all that from experience, because it was like when I got to Superstar Director, I was like, when I got to Superstar Director, I kind of had the wrong mindset, because I wasn't like working one-on-one with anybody, and all those director promotions just happened. And then I got to Superstar Director, and I got to Superstar Director in 3 years. I didn't have a freaking clue what I was doing. And so I just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm a Superstar director. I'm at the top of the company. I'm just going to keep doing my parties and recruiting, but I'm not going to build any leaders. Like, I didn't even know how to build a leader. I didn't know how to coach. I didn't know how to work one-on-one with people. I didn't know how to help people write an action plan, like all these things. And so my business just like froze. And it was for like a whole year, it was just like frozen. And then I started working on coaching one-on-one, and then hello, now we have 18 directors and above in our organization, and we went from 500 to 1,420 something in a year. It's crazy. But that one-on-one, y'all, working one-on-one with your rising leaders like that, and do not work one-on-one with the people who are not hungry and willing and coachable and motivated. Don't work with those people one-on-one, because they aren't going to, you're wasting your time. That's the only way to put it. You're wasting your time. So you need to be focused on the people who are producing so that you can build those leaders and build a big business. That's the way you're going to build a big business. That's the way you're going to see your income double every single year. Like, it is really cool to see that. Anybody have any questions? I had on here too, it's funny because Jessica brought this up and I was kind of touching on this, but I had wrote down, keep showing up for the one. Don't focus on the people who are doing nothing, because you won't see the people that are doing something. What I mean by keep showing up for the one is a few years ago, I remember having a team call, a Zoom. It's when I first started trying to use Zoom. One person showed up and I cried after to my husband. And I was like, I'm never doing Zooms again. Like, this is not going to work. And I was literally guilty of the things that we tell our team members not to do. You know, like they try something once and they're like, oh, I'm a failure, I'm not doing it again, instead of continuing to be consistent with it. And now, I mean, we have great participation on our calls because I kept doing them. I didn't just give up because of that. I kept doing it for the one. I'm doing this for the one person who wants to show up and work and change their life. And that's the mindset you have to have. You've got to do it for the one. So be grateful for the outcome that you do have. If if you're posting on your team page every single day and you're being consistent and you're not getting much response, be thankful for the response that you are getting, because I promise you it's going to get better over time the more consistent you are. Because I know a lot of you are probably struggling with that right now, where you feel like nobody's commenting on things that I post, nobody's doing this, but it's just a matter of the more you grow your team, you'll find those people who will start to interact more, and encourage your people to share things on your team pages. Just like on my team page, I have people share how they're working. That is so important. You need brand new, excited, hungry, certified consultants that are out there hustling, like literally out there hustling, giving out samples to all the people. You need those people sharing their tips and how they're working, because let's be honest, I can't tell you the last time I gave a sample out to somebody in public. So, because that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on growing my social media and networking that way, and like just so many different things that you got to pick a few things and be consistent with them. So, but anyway, you need people sharing on your team page. You need to be empowering your leaders to share on our leadership group, to share in your team page, like whatever they are good at, point that out to them, tell them that you see them killing it. Can they please share what they're doing, because it would help the team. Encourage that contributing more than you take, because so many people will just go on your team page and take all the things, but they don't want to contribute anything. And that's important. I mean, we all need to be sharing what's working for us, and we need to be encouraging our teams to do that. Our certifieds and higher, because you need to set that expectation from the beginning. That's another thing too. I'm working on core values for our group. Well, my team. But so we have the Scentsy core values, obviously: simplicity, generosity, authenticity, like the simplest core values and the best core values. But I've been thinking about what our team's core values are, and like exactly, like I know how our culture is. I know you know, what our team is like, but I've really been trying to think up like what can our actual core values be that I can like pin to the top of our page and everybody knows coming in, and you know, put on the new consultant welcome guide to set those expectations. And I would encourage all of you to do that as well, because like I said, sets the expectation from the beginning, tells them kind of what's expected of them, what they're a part of. And I think that it'll be good to have that. Again, 7 years in, and I'm just now thinking of or almost 7 years in, and I'm just now thinking of this, but I think it'll be good. I think that is all I had for y'all. Again, the BAR, the business analysis report, please use that because it is so important. I mean, you are running a business, so you've got to get your mind wrapped around that business mindset. Not just when it comes to like taxes and stuff, you've got to get in that business mindset of I need to be tracking our team's growth, and I need to be making sure that our year-over-year growth is healthy. You know, like I can look back in my BAR and see 2018, I wasn't paid a title ever, like the whole year in 2018. Then I can look at 2019 and I can see, okay, I started coaching one-on-one the beginning of 2019, and then I can see those last 6 months of 2019 I was paid at superstar director title. And then I look at 2020, I mean, I've been paid a title ever since, but you can look back and see your progress and see what's working and what's not, see your team's weak spots, see how your recruiting is, see how, you know, how many people you recruited last month versus last month last year, you know, like how many you recruited in March versus how many you recruited in March 2020. Is it down? Is it not? Like, what did you do differently? If it is down, what are you slacking on? What were you doing then that you're not doing anymore? Like, it is such an important report to pull every single month. That's why they have it there for you. Used to only superstar directors had it, so now they've got it for everyone. And so you can go in there and look and see how the health of your business is. You can use it for your leaders to look at theirs. Like, it's the best tool. So, but if y'all don't have any more questions or anything, I'm going to let y'all get off of here. It is late. My kid is probably also going to be asking to come back home from his nannies because he always says he's going to spend the night. And then it's like 9 or 10 and he's like, Mom, I want to come home. Because she lives like 2 minutes down the road. So he knows that he can come home if he wants to. But I hope y'all have a great night. I hope y'all found some value in this. I hope y'all learned something. And I love